Fear and Hunger is a horror dungeon crawler set in the dark and hopeless dungeons of Fear and Hunger, and I played it, and this is how it went. So, first things first, I had to choose a character, and I went with the knight because I'm noble like that. When you start a playthrough, you get an introduction to the character you're playing as with some lore and some choices you have to make, and you get different perks and items depending on said choices. What I got on my little knight character didn't really matter because, spoiler alert, my first playthrough didn't go that far. The game told us that we had to find a certain someone in the dungeons, so we start here. And we need to dive into the dungeons ahead of us. The first thing I noticed was this dead horse, and I did what every rational person would do and started beating it. I heard barking from a distance, but I didn't pay any mind to it. Plasma că așa vă bat de cu de câini. Barking is getting closer. Și ce? Oh, I love opium. Hai, you smart. Well, maybe I should have paid attention. I managed to kill the dogs, but more showed up, so I had no choice but to run into the dungeons to escape. It seemed like the hounds really wanted a piece of my posh knight ass, so they followed me inside. It was fine though, since it's just some dogs and they aren't gonna take me down. That's what I thought, until the game told me to pick heads or tails. Oh no. Super. I love this game already. Well, I managed to die in the first 3 minutes of playing the game, but that wasn't gonna discourage me from achieving greatness. On my second try, I didn't waste much time and I bolted it straight to the dungeon. Well, I was there now, and so I started wandering around. In case you also aren't really familiar with this game, your character has some stats, those being hunger, body, and mind. You basically have to keep these in check or else you'll die. The first noteworthy thing I found in the dungeon was a little girl who was trapped in a cage. I couldn't open the door, so I just went on my way. I then found a courtyard full of hanging dead bodies and blindly jumped into some hole in said courtyard because why not? Luckily, I ended up being unscathed because a giant pile of dead bodies broke my fall. We were now on level 2 basement, and that's a sign of progress, probably. The basement was filled with these jellyfish things, but they didn't care that I was there, so I swiftly made my way past them. That was until I bumped directly into one and started a fight. I slapped the ever-loving shit out of it with my sword and it died. I didn't really find anything else here, so I went back to the courtyard and moved straight ahead until I found another entrance. There were these weird-looking priests who nailed this poor man to a cross, and I decided to be the hero who delivers justice in these dark, spooky dungeons. They burned and nearly killed me. After that mess of a fight, I jumped into a toilet and got stuck there. There was genuinely no way out of there. I had to reload an earlier save. It was right at the start. After what happened, I went to take out my frustration on the first being I find in the dungeon, and that being just so happened to be a gigantic prison guard with an even more gigantic penis hanging out. I'm not joking, I can't show it on video. What the fuck is this game? As I expected, he was pretty tough, but I eventually took it down. The problem was, it also took both my arms off. It was at this point that I said screw it and started fresh with another character, the Outlander. This time I also streamed this game to my friend Trajectory. After misspelling my name by accident, I was ready to try again. The moment I step into the dungeon, I get horribly jump scared by a prison guard.
Ocean stands still.
This wasn't a great start, honestly, but I managed to run from the thing and I progressed normally after. Only this time I still had both arms attached to my body. One thing I learned while playing Fear and Hunger is that I suck at heads or tails. Oh, come on.
Heads.
Why? I have no idea why I keep listening to you. It's gonna be tails.
Tails.
Heads again. It cannot be tails for the third
Tails.
time. What the fuck? After some running around, I stumble upon a new area, and I'm warmly greeted by my buddy. After escaping his embrace, I managed to find a bed. Beds are very important because you need one to save your progress, so finding one felt great. I eventually went down some stairs and found myself in a prison of some sort, and there were these little flying shits around. I was mostly able to evade them, and after a bit of walking around, I stepped on a rusty nail and got an infection. And as you're gonna see later, that will end up being a bit of a problem. The good news is, I eventually found my way out of the prison and into the blood pit. Nice. Ew. Oh, what the fuck are you?
Much faster than you.
Lizard man. Fortunately, I made the wise choice and ran instead of fighting the lizard man because I wasn't sure how strong it was. After passing a big box, the game says that something is coming towards the room I'm in, so I hide. It turned out to be this guy named Trortur, which is oddly close to the word torture, but I'm sure he's a nice guy anyway. This is probably a good time to say that this game has a lot of lore that I won't bother explaining in this video, mostly because I'm not that far into the game anyway. Your best bet for learning what this is all about is playing the game yourself. It's like $6 on Steam. After Trortur fucks off, we meet an actual sane human being, Buckman. He tells us that he escaped from... I don't want to say his name anymore, bro. Because as it turns out, he's not the nicest human being. I forgot to mention, but just before I met Buckman, this happened. I'm fine. Now, I had two pretty big problems. Two of my limbs were infected, and I just saved the game. This came to bite me in the ass a bit later. Whatever. Moving on. I decided to confront my buddy head on, and it was a painfully easy fight. I just took out his arm with one attack and he couldn't do after, so I just finished him off. I also managed to kill the priests that killed me with the other character and got a soul stone off of them. Then I got killed by a prison guard, but I wasn't actually dead. I somehow ended up in that blood pit area again and I was missing both my legs. Then I decided to just jump down a hole because the situation was already hopeless and I died. After that, me and my friend went to play some Fortnite.
What is wrong with you? What? Hi. It's not.
There's no friendly fire.
There's no friendly fire.
Why do I keep yawning?
So tired. Oh yeah, there is.
Snipe him. Snipe him. Come on, snipe him, Tigress.
Oh, you suck. You suck. You suck. I almost lost that.
A while later, I was back and I found a thing that could let me get new skills and stuff. Unfortunately, this is where my infected wounds suddenly killed me. I realized that I couldn't do anything to treat them, so I basically soft-locked myself on this save. Awesome. But luckily, I had a previous save that wasn't too far away from where I was, and I made sure not to get any infections before my next save point. I was feeling very cocky and decided to fight that big guy from earlier, and he beat my ass. Then I felt cocky again and went back to fight the lizard man, and he also beat my ass. I also got another unique outcome after the fight. Instead of giving me the game over, the lizard man just skinned me alive, and I died very painfully. Fun for the whole family, am I right? Then I died again, but this time to a prison guard, and I got another unique outcome where he... oh my god, I cannot show this on YouTube. Let's just say he had fun with my character. Okay, I'm done, I'm refunding this. Oh shit. I can't. Well, after that incident, I reloaded my game and backtracked because if you remember, I found a girl trapped in a cage earlier and I couldn't do anything about it. Well, now I had a key for the cage, so I freed her. I now have my first companion. We made our way back to a save point and to my surprise, I had to pick heads or tails in order to sleep. I failed, so the game threw an enemy at us. We got attacked by this thing called a crow mauler and long story short, it pecked our heads off. It's 4 AM when I'm recording this, but I just wanted to add a few more minutes to the video since it was pretty short. I made my way back to the prisons and I encountered an elite prison guard, so you can guess what happened. That was expected. Also, new unique death. Cool. I then went to the prisons again and found some mechanism, and after turning it on, I returned to the blood pit. There was a thing here that let me go down that big hole without busting up both of my legs. Now we were in the caverns. The ambience in this place made me feel like I could be jumped at any moment. This game is amazing at making you feel tense, and indeed I got jumped. It was by this wolf thing called Moonless. I tried talking to it and the game gave me the option to feed it rotten meat, and so I did, and then I did it again. And oh my god, Moonless joined my party. This is the best thing ever. The sense of accomplishment was big. I now had 2 party members that trusted me with their lives. Oh, I'm so sorry. We tried heading back, but we all suddenly stopped to look in the darkness. So, firstly, what the fuck? Secondly, what the fuck? We got attacked by a cave mother and I couldn't run away. It was actually a pretty easy fight, and after she just flew away, until she attacked us again. We put her down once and for all, and after some walking around we find this guy. His name is Pocket Cat, and he wants me to trade the little girl in exchange for an item of my choosing. Hell no. I ditched him and then found an entrance to the mines. The girl has a mental breakdown, but I reassure her and we continue on our way. This is a mechanic related to the mind stat. If a party member's mind goes below a certain point, then they'll have a chance to leave the party. I beat up some yellow guy and his friend came over to get revenge. Could you guess who that is? It's the Chrome Mauler, yay! I think you can guess what happened next. We're so back. Now I know where to go at least. Yeah, I'll end it off on this note. If you want to see a continuation, then like the video and comment down below. My name is Tigris, and I'll see you in a decade.